Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now this is just similar with your LAS. Now, our main topic for this week is the measures of central tendency. If I could recall, this is supposedly your topic included in the last quarter for your grade 7. No, but then I was your teacher, and so same with your Sir Magbanwa, and we were not able to tackle this one when you were in grade 7. That's why I've decided to include this in our LAS because you will be having your statistics class when you reach grade 11, and the content is already expecting that you have discussed already these measures of central tendency, measures of variability, and measures of position when you were in junior high school. And there will be a gap. Kahit why nyo na-discuss, why nato na-discuss kang grade 7, why nyo manalabot kang grade 8 kagang grade 9. And so this is just the basic for statistics, for the measures of central tendency. Okay, and some of these you are familiar with already. But then as you have seen your LAS, you were given the whole or the LAS for the whole quarter. Now LAS 1 is for the measures of central tendency for ungrouped data. LAS 2 is on the making of the frequency distribution table. LAS number 3 is on the measures of central tendency for group data. And then LAS 4, 5, and 6 are on measures of position. Okay, we have the decile, the quartile, and then the percentile. Okay, so we have 6 topics for this quarter. And all of them are all on statistics. Probability was discussed last quarter. Okay, as you have seen man in the contents of our third quarter. And so for the whole quarter, we will be talking about statistics. Okay, first, there are two classifications. There are two classifications of data. Now, when we say data, these are pieces of information that were gathered from surveys, from questionnaires. Now, this can be in form of numbers, of words, or just letters. Data. I know you are familiar with the term data. Okay, and then when we say ungrouped, again, we have two types of data, ungrouped and grouped. Okay, when we say ungrouped, this is similar to what we call your raw data, raw RAW. Okay, ungrouped data is again similar to raw data. Meaning, ay mo pa siya na-arrange, after gathering this data, what you are at hand is called a raw data. Meaning, why mo pa na-organized into tables, graphs, or etc. Why mo pa napasunod, why mo pa gid na-treat, why na-analyze. So that's what we call your ungrouped data. And on the other hand, when we say group data, this is the data that were already analyzed, that were already arranged in tables, napasunod doon, na-treat mo do kung baga. Okay, so this is the similarities and the difference. Both, again, are taken from surveys, from questionnaires, from observations. Okay, and then the difference is, ang ungroup, ay pa na-treat, ang group na-treat mo doon. Okay, when we say treat, na-arrange mo into table, na-analyze, napasunod, whatsoever. Okay, and then there are so many measures, there are so many measures of on statistics. We have the measures of central tendency, the measures of variability, and the measures of position. Okay, under measures of central tendency, we have the mean, median, and mode, which we will be discussing today. Now, measures of variability will be discussed to you in grade 11. Now, actually, it's part man of your, I think it's on grade 9, grade 8 or grade 9 nga book. Now, measures of variability includes your variance and standard deviation. Now, it talks dumata na how spread, ano ang karaptahon ka inyong answers, the variability, how varied are the answers. And then the third one is measures of position. Kaya mo ito ginahambal ta, we have the decile, we have the quartile, and then the percentile. Okay, but the name itself, no, we are looking for the position, no, of a specific number or score in a given set of data. No, let's say for the quartile, no, what does 25% no, of the data no, say about this? Okay, kung decile duman, kung quartile by 25 ha, quarter. So 25, 50, 75, 100. Kung decile by the prefix nga de or dec, okay, we have the by tens, meaning 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. And then for percentile, no, with the prefix percent, no, meaning tag-isa-isa gid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, so we'll be encountering all of these no, starting this quarter until you reach grade 11. No, you'll still have your statistics na subject on the second semester when in grade 11. Okay, so let's now go to the actual topic. Okay, this is the measures of central tendency for ungrouped data. So we assume that all of the data presented here are ungrouped, meaning they are raw data, waay na pang treat, okay, waay na pang pasunod as in raw lang gid. Okay, the first one is the mean. Okay, the mean is similar to your average or your arithmetic mean. Okay, we discussed this in the first quarter. No, arithmetic mean or your average. Okay, average meaning ano ang anong average. No, when we to get the mean or to get the average, how do we solve for it? Ano ginaubra ta sa data? Yes, the scene.
You find the sum of the data set, sir, tapos i-divide mo of how many values man, sir, ka data naging butang mo.
Okay, very good. Okay, that's it. Thank you, the scene. Now we add all the numbers or the scores, and then we divide it by the number of scores. Okay, let's say no, when you get your average sa inyong card, no, sa inyong class card, no, remember that you have 8 subjects. Okay, so i-add mo ang tanan mga grades sa 8 ka subjects, and then you divide it also by 8. Okay, kay 8 ka bilog imo nga scores or imo nga grades. Okay, so that's how we solve for the mean. Okay, it's the most, no, or the arithmetic mean of the data set is the sum of all values divided by the total number of values. So, ito naman disin ha in simpler terms. We add all the scores and divide it by the number of scores kung pira ka bilog. Now, it's the most commonly used measure of central tendency because all values are used in the calculation, meaning all the numbers will be considered. Okay, you will determine later in sa hindi gawa reliable si median kag si mode. Now, with mean, no, you are sure because all values are considered from the smallest up to the highest score. Okay, tanan sanda gin consider. Okay, so let's have this example. Now, finding the mean. Okay, you have here, no, on the table, no, there are 5 participants, and under each, no, is their reaction time in milliseconds. Okay, so for participant 1, 287, 345, 365, 298, and 380. Okay, so for the solution, no, we are asked to find the mean of this given data set. Okay, first is to add up, no, the sum of all values. No, we get the summation of x. Okay, we are familiar ha with summation symbol. Okay, so after adding, no, gin-add naton tanan, we got 1,675. Okay, we are now here ha. Okay, dito kita. Okay, after adding, no, this is the sum ha, 1,675. Okay, then you calculate the mean using the formula. We are given with this formula. Okay, the summation of x over n. Okay, this is the formula for the mean. No, summation of x over n, or the sum of all scores. X refers to the score class to the score. Okay, over n. N duman refers to the number of scores kung pira sa nakabilog. Okay, there are 5 values in the data set. So the value for your n is 5. Okay, therefore the mean, this is the symbol for the mean. We have the x bar. Tandaan lain-lain symbol si mean, median, kag mode. Okay, this is the x bar. Okay, so x bar or the mean is equal to the sum of the scores, which is 1,675 over the number of scores, which is 5. Okay, so 1,675 divided by 5 is equal to 335. Okay, therefore, your mean is 335 milliseconds. Okay, so this is the concept for the mean. Again, you just add all the scores and divide it by the total number of scores. Questions for the mean?
Sir,
Yes.
dang need gid sir nga ibutang ya milliseconds sir sa mean sir. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Usually, no, since these are no on problem solving, no, and we are very strict with the unit of measure. Okay, so it's no, it would be better no if we also put the unit of measure at the end. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we are asked of the reaction time in milliseconds, and so we also put milliseconds sa punta. Okay, we do the same we do the same in the other exercises. Pero kung waay, so waay man. Okay, why kaso? No, but then if it's on a problem solving concept, then we put the unit of measure para maanad kita. Okay, thank
Hi
you
sir,
for that.
thank you.
Okay, sige. Okay, now we proceed to median. Okay, median, on the other hand, no, the median of a data set is the value that is exactly, okay, exactly in the middle when the data set is ordered from low to high. Okay, meaning si median dumata na, kung i-arrange mo kuno tanan nga values from the lowest up to the highest, no, sino nga score ang makita sa tunga. So that's your median. No? Again na ang score nga makita sa tunga amo si median. Okay, ang kay mean ta nakaginalain. No, mean is the average of all the scores. Okay, for median duman, no, it's the middle score. Sino ang score nga makita sa tunga. Okay, and we have two cases. No, the first one is if the data set contains no an odd number of scores, meaning hindi siya divisible by 2. Okay, kung odd number ang scores, no, meaning there are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on. Okay, and for that, we have this formula. Okay, we have the n plus 1 over 2. Okay, meaning pangitaon mo ang n plus 1 over 2 nga score, and that's the answer. Okay, where n is the number of values in the data set. Okay, you have here an example, no? I think this is the same. Is it the same? Yeah, no, the same data set as of the above. Okay, there are 5 scores. Okay, so if there are 5 scores, no, the middle position is calculated using quantity n plus 1 over 2, where n is equal to 5. And using this formula, now we have 5, and again is 5. No, 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Meaning you are looking for the third score. Amo dyan namin hindi nga 3 answer That means the median is the third value in your ordered data set. Okay, hindi nga ang n plus 1 over 2 ang answer na bukon pa meaning that's the nth score that you are looking for. So if the answer is 3, meaning you are looking for the third score upon arranging them from the least up to the lowest or vice versa. Anyway, it won't be affected. Kung gusto mo timong halin sa taas pa nubo, pwede man. Kung nubo pa taas, pwede man gyapon. You will be arriving at the same answer. The numbers here on the table, Now, we're already arranged from the least to the highest. Now, with 287 being the least and 380 being the largest score or the largest record. Okay, so pangitaon mo kuno si third value, either you start from the left or from the right. Okay, since it's the middle value, you can go either way. Pareho Japon imo answer. Okay, and so, upon observation or upon inspection, the third score here is 345. That means that your median is 345. Okay, without actually adding or just like what you did kagina kay mean, dito na observation lang. Okay, the second case is if the number of data or the number of scores in the data set is an even number. This na ang medyo mabudlay lang. Okay, for an even number data set, find the two values in the middle of the data set, the values at the n/2 and n/2 plus 1 positions, then find their mean. Meaning, buloon mo ang sa tunga, ang duwa nga sa tunga nga imuday, i-add kag divide sa 2. Okay, meaning buloon mo ang the mean. Okay ha, amo ha? Just like on the example, may additional nga data, but then they are still arranged from the least up to the greatest. Okay, with 287, 298, 345, 357, 365, and 380. Okay, the middle positions are calculated using these two formulas. We have n/2 and n/2, quantity n/2 plus 1, meaning we are looking for two values. And this time, our n is 6, since we have 6 scores. Okay, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. That's for the first value. And 6 divided by 2 is 3 plus 1 is 4. That means the middle values are the third value, which is 345, and the fourth value, which is 357. Okay, so ang third value mo here is 345, and then your fourth value is 357. Okay, and so to get the median, take the mean of the two middle values by adding them together and dividing by 2. Okay, average man sige hapon. So we add 345 plus 357 divided by 2. Okay, which will give us an answer of 351. Okay, so therefore, our median is 351 milliseconds. The median does not need to be any of the scores. Okay, since we're getting the average. Kung odd number, you are sure that the median is one of the scores. But if the number of scores is even, okay, that means that it is possible that the median is not one of the scores, meaning kay 351 pag check mo di mambal ka mo sir way madya 351 sa data. So again, it is possible. Unlike na kung odd number, remember our median here is 345, and 345 is one of the scores, meaning amo gid na ang case per me. But if the number or the data set has even number of scores, it's possible that the median is not one of the scores. Kaya you're getting the average. Okay, sir, pwede ba sir nga may decimal yung answer? Pwede gid. Okay, a median has no restriction. Okay, kung decimal man imo sabat, that is still the median. Okay, you don't need to round it off. Okay, questions for median. Yes, Disin.
Sir, mag-answer bi sir kadang decimal or fraction, sir. Ano ya prefer mo, sir? Ang in decimal form, sir, or in fraction form?
Why man kay kung scientific calculator gamit niyo gina-automatic na run fraction form. So okay lang man. Kay kung decimal, kung itumok yung SD sa calculator niyo, mahalin man sa kay decimal. So okay man si yapon. Okay, depende kaninyo kung ano yan mas nasawaan nyo isulat. Okay, anyway, they mean the same. No, they are still equal. Okay, but others, no, kung example fraction, gabutang sa the or, na, let's say 2/3 or 0.6 bar or 0.67, that is still okay. No, hindi man ta stricto. Okay, thank you, the scene, for that. Okay, lastly, now let's go to the mode. Okay, mode naman, no, is the most frequently occurring value in the data set. Okay, again, or it means that na ang makita mo pinakaduro nga times sa given nga data set. Okay, it's possible, however, to have no mode, okay, one mode, or more than one mode. Okay, unlike na nakagina sa duwa, you can only have one mean and one median. But for the mode, no, you can have as many as possible as long as it's correct. No, may dyan nga tagtatloan na mode, 4, 5. Okay? Kaya again, the only qualification for the mode is that it should appear, no, the highest number of times on the data set. Okay, let's say katatlo nag-appear si 5, katatlo nag-appear si 7, katatlo nag-appear si 10, katatlo man nag-appear si 11. Okay, so 3, 5, 10, and 11 are all your modes. Okay, tanan sanda matawag mo nga mode. Kaya equally, they appeared on the data set 3 times. Okay, so no restriction with the mode. Okay, but then you have to double check kung tanagin man ang may pinakaduro nga appearance, no, or nga frequency sa imo nga data set. Okay, we have here an example. Okay, you are given with how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15 numbers. No, for the solution, no, for you to have an easier way of doing it, no, others are arranging the numbers from least to greatest or the opposite, no, so that makita mo gid, no, nga ang numbers na pasunod kag mas hapos isipon kung kapira siya nag-appear. No, because let's say kaduro gid ka numbers, no, kung di mo pag-ilista, no, basi may ma-miss out ikaw kaisip kagabi mo isa or duwa lang gali kay waay, no, mga muda bala. Okay, so the easiest, no, to do this is to list them down just like how you did with the median, no, from least to greatest para mas makita mo kung sino ang gasulit. Okay, so for the solution there, no, that they listed the numbers from least to greatest. Okay, this makes it easy to see which number or numbers appear most often. And in our case, no, upon inspection again, no, 23 appeared 4 times, meaning your mode is 23. Okay, on this case tana, it is not possible nga maka-answer ka it decimal, except if the scores, no, the written scores are may decimal. No, otherwise, waay. Kaya you will not be getting the mean eh. Okay, so diyata na whole number gid ang answer. Si mean, pwede nga may decimal. Si median, pwede nga may decimal. Pero si mode, unless kung given mo may decimal, no, so pwede. Kung puro whole number man niya sabat. Okay, so let's say, no, ang 3 mo, ano man mag-appear, no, kaapat. So meaning, duwain mo mode. We have 3 and 23. No, that one is called a bimodal. Kung isa lang, uni. Okay, unimodal. Kung duwa, bimodal. Okay, so these are, no, if there is a case that there are two numbers that has the same number that appear most often, then those two numbers are your mode. No, that's for the node here. Okay, so si mode, ang pinakaduro nga appearance yung mga data set. Si mean is the average, si median ang sa tunga. Okay, questions for the mode. Yes, the scene.
Sir, paano sir kung duwa ya mode sir nga dang nag
Amo to gani. O let's say, amo to ginambal ko, let's say kaapat man si 3 nagwa. Meaning yung mode mo is 3 and 23. Kung tatlo, let's say si 20, tatlo kaapat na magwa. Meaning yung mode mo is 3, 20, 23. Isa-isahon mo lista. Hindi nga ibulon mo yung average na whatsoever. Isa-isahon mo lista ang tanan nga mode. Okay? Yes, Jeb.
Sir, is that naka-shade ang 5, sir?
Away na ano ko lada. Okay. 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 Again ha, kung duro imo mode, isa-isahon mo man kalista. Okay. Hindi nga ginbuol mo, let's say, ginbuol mo ang the average. Okay, no. No, kung piradya ka bilog imo mode, isa-isahon mo man kalista. Okay. Sige. Okay, let's now go to the activity. Explain ko lang ha. Klaro dun ka naton, si mean, median, and mode. May pamangkot pa.
Sir, may question dali ko, sir.
Yes, yes.
Di kung why abi, sir, it mode, ano yung ibutang none
Ay,
lang,
sorry.
sir, or
Kung
no
ay it
mode?
mode, none. None.
Okay,
Hindi
sir,
pagbutangan
thank you.
0 ha. Again ha, kung ay it mode, hindi pagbutangan 0. Okay, 0 will be considered as a number. Okay, subutangan mo lang ka none. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay, kung waay ha, kung waay. Butangan mo lang ka none. Okay, amudaha no mode or none ang ibutang. O, kung duwa,
Thank you,
ilista mo man
sir.
duwa mo. Kung tatlo, mailista mo. Okay, kung waay, again ha, hindi pagbutangan ka 0 because 0 will be considered as a score. Okay, meaning butangan mo bitan naka none or no mode. Okay, thank you. Okay, so for letter A here, identify what is asked and write your answers on the space provided below. Now, for letter A, you have to give the mean. For letter B, give the median. For letter C, you give the mode. Okay, so 6 numbers for each. Okay, kamaando kita ha, mag-solve kung paano. And then for letter B, duman, you are now given a larger set of numbers, of raw numbers or ungrouped data. Still, you have to compute for the mean, median, and mode of each set. Okay, now you use a separate sheet of paper for your solvings and then write your answers by filling up the table below. Okay, so there are 3 columns. Now, column 1, you write there the mean of the data set. Column 2, you write the median of the data set. And then for column 3, you write the mode of the data set. Okay, 2 activities lang. Miskin tulad matapos nila yun. Yes, Pearl?
Ipasa pa, sir, ang solving, sir, sa activity.
Ano, need
Ang
no need on. It's for your own consumption. Okay, kay iban kaya mo malaki mo mental math mo durati mo. And again, you can do this with your calculators. Okay, ang mean malang actually ang ma-solve mo using a calculator. Ang median kag mode depende ta na kaninyo paano nyo siya makita nga pinakadasig. No, there is no one way kumbaga to do this. So I'm just giving you options no nga pili listahon. No? So depende kaninyo kung paano nyo i-solve. No? As long as correct ang aton answer. Okay, thank you for that, Pearl. Okay, no need. Okay, answers lang man inyo di ibutang. Okay, then you have here 2 questions. Okay, the first one is, what is the difference doon? No? If you have truly understood the lesson, anong kinalain ni mean, ni median, kag ni mode? And when do we use each measure? Tagasan o ginagamit si mean, si median, kag si mode. Okay, and then for the second question, kananda nga tatlo, among the 3 measures of central tendency, Which among them is the most reliable in describing the data and why? Kay mean, median, kag mode, sino kananda ang maka-describe ka data set, no? The best. Okay, sino ang pinaka-reliable, no? That could represent, no, naminta ha, no, which among the three could represent the whole data set? And then the reason why. Okay, let's say you have chosen mean. O, the mean because insat din consider mo sang reliable. Okay. So that's the end of our discussion. Do you have questions before we end?
Answer.
Okay, no, if there are questions later on na madumduman nyo, you just feel free to chat me. No, again, this will be submitted this Friday already. Okay, so again, you are free to use your calculator so that you can answer easily. And then for the time frame, it's this week to be submitted on date April 1, April Fool's Gid. Okay, April 1, 2022. No, and before we end, I will just like again have to remind those whom I have mentioned in the GC last night na may mga kulang pa, yung mga LAS. No, I'm not sure if they are here, pero na-post ko duman sa GC. I've also informed duman your Sir Sarayna. Okay, so kung nakapasa ka mo, nga waay kalabot ka na kon, please coordinate lang with your Sir Sarayna. Kita na malang daaga ba dulong kanakon ka inyong LAS. Okay, then ang mga waay na mention, meaning kompleto doon. Okay, kaya I will be submitting your grades today. So kung makahingagaw iban, okay, gid. No? Kung hindi, mag-deliberation, why lang dumantin yung grade eh. Because just like or since the first quarter, no, I do not release your grade kung may isa ka lang gid nga kulang. Maski may isa ka lang nga kulang, I'm not releasing your grades, which means you have to comply everything. Now, all your LAS and then your mastery tests. Okay, I made that clear last time. Okay, so if we don't have any more concerns, we can end this meeting. No, thank you. You are 35. Okay, okay dun May pulo nga waay, no? Others have chatted here already.